네, 코로나로 정말 많은 것들이 변했고 또 변하고 있죠. 이 같은 불확실성의 시대에 가장 촉을 세우고 민감하게 반응하는 사람들은 아마 투자 쪽에서 일하는 사람들일 겁니다. KBS 뉴스라인에서는 세계 3대 투자자 가운데 한 명인 짐 로저스 홀딩스 회장으로부터 이야기를 들어보는 순서를 직접 마련했는데요. 짐 로저스 회장은 현재 미국이 아닌 싱가포르에 거주하고 있습니다. 스카이프로 연결해서 직접 이야기를 나눠보겠습니다. Hello, Mr. Rogers.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to see you on.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, how has your health been amid this COVID-19 pandemic?
As far as I know, it's been fine. I wash my hands every day.
So the current COVID-19 pandemic is broadly affecting the global economy, and liquidity is steeply increasing. How do you think this will affect the overall economy?
If you give me a couple of $1 trillion, you can invite all of your friends. We're all going to have a very, very good time. And that's what's happening right now. All governments all over the world are printing and borrowing and spending gigantic amounts of money. So the world economies are reviving, and everybody thinks this is going to be great. And it is going to be great for a while.
Speaking of the U.S. economy, we can easily think of the bubble economy along with the upcoming presidential election.
Remember, there's an election in America in November. They all want to get reelected. They're going to do everything they can to get reelected. That's what's happening. Will it get back to be the way it was a year or two ago? Probably not ever, but not for a long time anyway. But no, all economies which have been closed are opening, and that means things are going to feel better and are going to be better for a while.
Could you also elaborate on the inflation scenario then?
Well, throughout history, when people have printed huge amounts of money, it has normally led eventually to inflation. Eventually, at least historically, it leads to more inflation.
We're also curious about your losses and gains, of course. So where have you been investing recently, and how is that turning out?
One, I mean, everything went down for a month. Everything went down. I had a few shorts, but not nearly enough. So, of course, all my stocks went down. But most of them have come back up. Not all, but some have come back up a great deal. I bought more Hong Kong shares a couple of weeks ago. I bought Japan a week or so ago. They're all doing, and China's doing very well. I bought some Chinese stock, Russian stocks. They're all doing fine.
Can you generalize your experience in order to give some advice for the public?
Well, if you're talking about how to be successful investing?
Yes.
There's only one thing you need to know. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Only invest in what you yourself know a lot about. Everybody wants a hot tip run. Everybody wants to get rich this week. But hot tips will ruin you. Please do not listen to anybody, including me. If you invest only in what you yourself know about, you're going to be a successful investor. If I told you you can only have 20 investments in your whole life, you would be very, very careful about your investments. You wouldn't jump in and out. Every time you hear a story, you wouldn't rush off and buy it. No, you would be calm and patient, and you would wait. And that's how you can be a successful investor. Everybody watching this knows a lot about something, cars or fashion or sports or something. Stay with what you know. You already know much more than I will ever know, because that's your passion. That's what you do every day.
You said that in 2 years, we will see the most bearish market ever. So what can we do, and what should we do in preparation for it?
America had gone over 10 years with no economic setback until the virus hit. It's the longest in American history. Stock market's going up again. Some parts of the American stock market are making all-time highs. Is this going to go on forever? I doubt it. The one thing that you should worry about, my kids, they're adding gigantic amounts of debt to governments all over the world. 3 or 4 years from now, people in America, my kids in America are going to say, wait a minute, look at all this debt. America was already the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. Now it's added trillions more in just 4 or 5 months. No, we're all going to pay a huge price for this someday.
Maybe you can share some of your secrets for the Korean public.
Well, I decided that Chinese would be the most important language in their lifetimes. But what the language that people should learn right now is probably Korean. If you're a young kid, I told you, Hanbando is going to be the most exciting place in the world for 10 or 20 years once that 38th parallel opens up. So if you're a young kid and you don't want to learn Chinese, learn Korean, because that's going to be a great, great language to know for the next 20 years.
Which areas of Korean economy do you think you're interested in?
Well, John, one of the things when the 38th parallel opens and peace finally comes, Korea, the peninsula has never been on the world tourism map, never, ever in history. It will be then, because then everybody's going to say, what is Korea? What was North Korea? Everybody's going to want to go and see. So it's going to be a great tourist attraction, Hanbando, for a long time. So there are going to be great opportunities there. And if you ever go to North Korea, you're going to see they don't have anything. So anything you can do well, you're going to make a fortune in North Korea.
What kind of advice can you give to the virtual asset holders?
Well, by virtual asset, you mean cryptocurrencies?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not against them. I'm just telling you that, first of all, you should understand that all money is going to be on the computer in the future. It already is in China. You cannot take a taxi in China with money. You cannot buy an ice cream with money in China, Chinese money anymore. Everything's on the computer, and there's going to be government money. Governments love this. It saves them a lot of money. They don't have to print money. They don't have to transport it. They don't have to guard it. So they love it. They're going to know everything you do. They're going to call you up one day and say, you know what? You've been drinking too much tea this month. Stop drinking so much tea. Because they're going to know everything you do. I hate it. But that's the way the world's going to be. Now, the crypto guys say, well, we're smarter than the government. And they are. But the government has the guns. And if the government says you cannot use other money, most people are not going to use other money. I don't like this.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I hope to see you again soon in Korea.
Bye-bye.
Bye.